Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Kuat Transfer V2 here in the back of our 2020 Tesla Model Y. Now guys, it's going to be a very nice way of giving yourself a very decent bike rack to go ahead and get your bikes to where you want to go. What's awesome about this guy, right out of the gate, you're going to see this unique U-frame design. I really like this guy, as it makes it really easy to just walk up, get underneath your bike, and actually help you either mount or dismount your bike in a nice, fashionable manner. Now, of course, it looks pretty clean too. Kuat, always very interested in making their bike racks look stylish, but you are still getting a lot of great capability out of this guy. With a 40-pound capacity rating for each bike, you're going to have no trouble getting most of your standard bikes and even up into those mountain bike ranges. Now, one thing I will say, though, I think it kind of loses most of its functionality with being on the 1.25" shaft. So what I mean by that, there are two versions. One's going to have the 1.25" shaft with a 2-inch converter kit for itself. And the other one is just your 2-inch hitch. So if you guys do have a 2-inch hitch like we do here today on the Tesla, highly recommend going ahead and looking at that 2-inch natural version. That's going to get you a 60-pound capacity rating for both bikes, which is awesome. Because what you can imagine is, you got those heavy big e-bikes, right? Sometimes they're really hard to extend over some of those bigger platforms out there, and they kind of become a pain to actually get mounted on here. What's nice about these guys, like we said, you can just grab your bike, walk it in place, and then let it down. You're keeping your center of mass right even with it. Makes it really easy to walk them up and get them on there. So personally, if you have the option and you have a 2-inch hitch, just go ahead, do yourself the favor, get the 2-inch version. That way you have that 60-pound weight capacity. You're going to have no trouble throwing any bike you want on it. You're not going to be limited just to those 40 pounds. However, this guy's still going to do a great job. If you are on that 1.25" as well, that can also be nice, and it's a little bit more versatile for the family as well. So maybe you have another sedan in the family, you can actually bring your transfer around. So there are advantages to both, but in my opinion, like I said, if you got the 2-inch hitch, just go ahead and do yourself a favor and get that upgrade. Taking a look at the platform, though, you guys can see of how this bike sits in here. We do have that front cradle for ourselves and our back cradle here holding us on. We just have a little strip in here that just simply ratchets down, secures that back wheel. Now these guys are a little transposable, as you guys can see, which can be nice. That way you can get your longer bikes on there with no trouble. And of course, we do have a front tire hold on here. What that means for ourselves, going to have no trouble getting our carbon frame bikes up on this bad boy, which is awesome, as you won't have any frame contact. Therefore, you won't be warping or deteriorating that carbon frame. Now, if you do have any women's bikes, step-through bikes, or kids' bikes on some other models that utilize a frame design, you have a little bit of issue. It's nice with this guy. Going to have no issue at all. As long as you have that one good front wheel, you can go ahead, latch that guy right down on it, and it will be nice and secure, just as you are seeing here on the front one, which is awesome. Now, another huge advantage of this guy, though, it actually can tilt away while our bikes are on here. So you can see our handlebar might become right into contact if we were to open our hatch like it is right now. All I have to do, take my arms here, walk right up, utilize my foot to hit that lever right there. That's going to let me whittle this down, as you guys can see, bring it back towards me, and then I can pop open my hatch just like so. Now we got that clearance with no issue for ourselves. I can get my bike helmets, my coolers, anything else I might need on the inside of my hatch. Can also become a great spot to go ahead and relax, put your shoes up, get changed, and of course just enjoy your scenery and your surroundings where you're at. So love that you have access there to the back of the vehicle. Always love to see that. And walking it up becomes just as easy. All I have to do, support it, walk it up. It's going to go ahead and click in position. Very, very easy system to use, and I really do like that lever system being right there, ready for my foot to take it full advantage of. Now on the side here, you are seeing a little locking core. It does come with a cable lock, so you can go ahead and run that through both of your bikes, loop them through, plug it right in, and therefore your bike's going to be nice and secure to your carrier when you leave it unattended, which is awesome. So do love to see that. So I'm going to go ahead and just take the bike off now. It's not going to take me too much time. I'm simply going to undo this strap here in the back like we mentioned by pressing in on that lever. I'm going to go ahead and allow me to release this strap all the way, get that set on the other side of the bike, and that brings me to my last hold on my bike. So I want to go ahead and make sure this isn't tilting into our vehicle or ourself to cause any damage. Pressing in on this button here is going to go ahead and release that guy, push him off to the side, and then we can simply just grab this bike off and walk it away in no time. So like I said, very, very easy to mount. And again, I love just walking right up into it. And I think a heavier bike too, it really starts showing you what you're paying for, as you actually can just step right in there and get it out. You saw with that lighter bike, of course, you can just grab it right off. Kind of hard to take advantage of that U-frame. And that's why I say, if you're getting this guy, you know, really take full advantage of that with those big heavy bikes, which is awesome. Now, of course, with the lightweight ones, it takes no time just to reach over and grab them. Definitely not too much of an issue. And one thing I like to do too, I'll take these guys, kind of move this position down a little bit, and then I'll just cinch these guys underneath here, makes it where those guys aren't going to want to bounce up as much. Now, I will say, compared to some of the other Kuats out here, these arms are a little bit more movable. So a little bit of road shake could see these moving when we get it folded up. So I like just to go ahead, tuck them underneath those cradles. Just gives us that little bit of added protection for ourselves. Now, we could go ahead and just tilt this away, like we said, but we do have a way of tilting it up. And while we're going to do that, we definitely have a lot of measurements and dimensions to keep in mind here. So the big one's going to be our clearance. So we want to watch how far we are going to be from the ground here for ourselves. So we can go ahead and see that. From the ground here today to the very end of our carrier is going to be putting us a hair under a 3/4 of an inch there. So 19 3/4 of an inch, maybe just a little bit underneath it. Definitely going to be nice. I don't think we're going to have too much issue here today. Now, we're not too far from that rear axle, but keep in mind, as those front wheels go up, the back will go down, and so will your hitch-mounted accessories. So if you find yourself approaching a very steep incline, could be something to watch out for, but I don't think we're going to have too many issues, of course. Now, one awesome thing, too, we are going to be adding a little bit of length, but not too much length, which is nice. The Model Y, not the longest car out there either, but let's go ahead and see what we're working with. From the back of our car here today to the very end of our carrier, that's going to be putting us right around 32 3/4 of an inch there for ourselves, guys. So definitely a little long for a 2-bike platform rack. However, we have a way of shortening it down very, very quickly. Again, we're going to come right back to that lever. We could go ahead and get these out of the way. Not too hard, though, just to simply push it in with by hand. And that's going to allow us to walk this guy up. Lock it in. You're going to see a little bit of shake here. I don't think it's going to be something you're going to feel or hear though in this position. And again, what's nice, you guys can see those cradles do a good job keeping those arms in. That way we don't have any contact with the back of our vehicle. Now, these guys have a little less resistance. Like I said, I would probably go ahead and utilize that cradle. As you guys can see, we are just already a little close there to the back of the Model Y. But we can go ahead and see how much space we shaved with that maneuver, and it looks like that's going to put us right at 11 1/4 inches there from the back of the vehicle. So a ton of room being saved now, guys. Should have no trouble getting this in the garage, or a little bit of maneuverability when you need to park it at that trailhead or wherever you might be. Moving our way down to the inside here, though, you can go ahead and see exactly what we're working with. We do have our 1 1/4 shank here today, but we do also have that 2-inch sleeve converter, allowing us to utilize our 2-inch hitch. And on the inside, you just have a little alignment pin with a retaining clip, making sure we're in the right spot. And then the real work is being done by this little guy right down here. So we have a dual action kind of element here. First off, it's going to be our anti-rattle device. So as I tighten this, it tightens a cam on the inside of our shank, bringing this online to one system, making for a nicer, smoother ride. As you guys are going to see, as I give this a shake, it's going to go ahead, actually shake the entire Tesla. You can see it's all in line with one system, making for a nice, smooth ride for yourself, your bike rack, but especially your bikes. And it also doubles as a security device. You will need that included tool. Now, I will say, you know, those are available here and there, but it is nice that you can't just take an Allen wrench to it. You will need an indentation in there to actually get this guy off. So one thing that you could do is maybe go ahead and maybe upgrade to a locking core on the back end here. However, it is a little bit smaller than your standard one, so it can be a little harder to find than just a regular old etrailer one. They are going to have to be specific. Kuat might have a few listed on there, but it is still going to have a nice security and neatness to it, as you are going to have that specialty tool to get it off there. So it becomes really easy to tighten that down to. Really, really nice for longer road trips, as you are going to have that tool to make sure it is nice and secure for yourself. That lever works really, really well. Let's see if you're like us and you only have you have no bike stand. You can walk right up, hold your bike with one hand, drop that down, and get it ready in no time, which can be awesome. Again, guys, the Transfer is an awesome little bike rack. I really like it. I like how stylish it is. Doesn't take up too much room here on the back as well. And one thing that I really, really like about it, a lot of carriers are going to start blocking your backup camera. You can see, though, you have all this space. Yes, you have these two bars here in the way, but they're not going to be terrible. Our backup cameras are going to be sitting right there in the middle, so we might lose a little bit here, but that's still going to give us a ton of extra space on the back here. And, of course, we are impacting our taillights just a little bit with these bigger guys, but we have a lot of emittance here, a lot of spacing between it, so people are going to see that light. And of course, we have this entire sides that are still easily viewed, which is great. Well, the Transfer can be a great little pickup. again, I highly recommend start looking at that 2-inch hitch version if you want the bigger capacity, if you have those larger bikes, and if you really want to start taking full advantage of this unique U-frame design. Well, guys, I think that about does it for our look at the Kuat Transfer V2 here on the back of our 2020 Tesla Model Y. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.